Hey, what's going on, guys? Guitargameguy here. My real name is Josh, for a lot of you that probably don't know that. And I am the director of Zombie Attack series, that's also the producer and the writer of it as well.
And I am Super Scourge 300, real name Carlin, the co-producer, co-director and co-writer of Zombie Attack series, director of Origins, and I star as Carter in Zombie Attack series.
Ah, where'd you come from? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, he's gonna be commentating here with me. So basically, I know that the wait for GTA 5, the Zombie Attack Legacies, is gonna be pretty long because for those of you that don't know, we are making a series after Series 3. It's not called Series 4, that'd just be a little bit redundant. So we're calling it Zombie Attack Legacies. And it's in GTA 5. But the wait for not just the series, but GTA 5 is going to be a while. So since it's been about 3 years since I created the Zombie Attack series, the very first episode actually, it's been almost 3 years, something like that. When did the first episode come out? Like October 10th. Wow. So yeah, been a little over 3 years since I made it, and hopefully you guys will enjoy this video because I'm just going to be talking about how I created it and some pretty funny things that went on that you guys probably don't know that I never really mentioned up to this point. Um, the like roller coaster we had with it, the highs and lows and stuff like that. So ultimately, I just want to start off saying how the idea of Zombie Attack series came into place. Basically, um, I was making a Left 4 Dead videos a long time ago, around 2009, and I was also making a lot of GTA 4 videos at the same time. And of course, me and Manny were playing both of these games together a lot. So what ended up happening was me and Manny just started playing GTA 4 in free mode, and we started playing by ourselves. Because if you guys probably don't remember, when I was playing GTA 4 in public mode, I was getting pretty pissed off at all the other players. So me and Manny decided to do a private match together, and this was actually off recording. Like I didn't get to record it, so I wish I could. I would have been epic, but oh well, past is past. And Manny was basically saying, "Hey, you know what would be badass is if like Rockstar was come out with some kind of zombie mode for GTA 4. I mean, there are zombies." I was like, "Yeah, that sounds like a really cool idea." And I was like, "You know, it would be kind of interesting if we could make some kind of like video where me and you are running around killing zombies. That'd be badass." But I had no idea how we could film that because even though there are zombies in GTA 4, we don't have any people to help us out. Because back then, I wasn't nowhere near as popular as I am now. Me and Manny knew nobody. So Manny was just like, "Oh, let's just use civilians and pretend that they're zombies and yeah, just fuck around or whatever." I'm like, alright. So I kind of planned out the first episode. Like I kind of made what was going to happen. There wasn't really a script for it. Me and Manny just kind of um we kind of knew the overall plot was gonna happen, but we didn't really have a script. It was just kind of going on. So that's where eventually we just started to film and we just started going edits. That's why there's not really any editing in it, like music or pretty much nothing. It was just me filming it with my camera, really. So let me go ahead and play the episode here. I'm sure you guys are probably already watching it, but I need to see it myself here really quick. Yes, first thing you guys might notice are the annotations. I put those on after a while of the episode being up because I wanted to put some kind of titles on there. And as you guys can see, I didn't really have any editing skills or anything. And I still left the radar on and Manny's gamertag icon on and all that stuff. And something else you guys might notice right away is, why is it so green for? Now,
Hell, I was just about to mention that. Why is everything so...
people, this has pissed people the hell off why I've never answered this. And it's embarrassing, so I'll just fucking say it. Basically, the camera I had back then did not like filming TVs that much. I actually had a 1080 flat screen TV. It was a very nice TV. But my camera, the one I had, was not very good at filming TV screens, so that basically fucked up the lighting on it. Later on, I didn't realize that, so I was like, oh shit, what's the hell happening to the color? So I finally got a new camera after a while, but for the first few episodes, you're going to be seeing this green shit, and we actually explain this later on that, oh, that's just the gas from the infection going on, really. So we kind of make it a lot more sense. So that's why everything is so green. Now, it's kind of hard to watch this episode, to be honest with you. Like, if you guys like it, that's perfectly fine. But for me, it's hard because there were probably about 50 million mistakes that went on during this. But I really didn't give a shit because I figured, this is just me and Mania fucking around in free mode. No one's gonna watch this. So I upload it, and then in just one day, it gets 15,000 views. I'm like, what the fuck? So, I told Manny, he's like, how the fuck did you get so many views already? I'm like, I have no idea. And then I started getting messages, not just from comments, but messages and a lot more friend requests and everything. People are like, dude, it's so awesome, make more. And I'm like, why do people like this? I like putting no effort into it. I was just filming it with my camera of me fucking around with this thing. So, there really wasn't a whole lot. The first episode, it was just setting up what was going to happen, and then me maybe fight some zombies and we go somewhere and hide. And I figured, we might film more episodes in the future, but this would be pretty much it. But after getting that many views, I decided, alright, Manny, let's keep making more. So, moving on to episode 2. Oh man, you guys are gonna laugh at this one because a lot of people are pretty pissed. Why the fuck are there so many annoying sounds in the background? Now that is simply because me and Manny had absolutely no time left. We were basically I was living with my friend during this time period, and he was setting up all of this food for this party we were going to have. But this is the only time I had was to film it right before the party was going to start. But I was actually filming this in my my living room, and my friend was in the kitchen, who's actually a really good cook. That sounds gay, but whatever. He was fixing up all this food, and it was loud as fuck. So, first of all, he was on his phone before that, and I'm like, dude, get off your fucking phone. Me and my friend are trying to make a video here. He's like, sorry. So after like half an hour, me and Manny just sitting in the game waiting for him to get off his phone. He finally gets off the phone, but he's still making this food, and it's loud as fuck. So, it's why it's still hard for me to watch episode 2 without me being like, damn, I wish I could have gone back and fixed that or something, Maybe even waited a little longer, because it was only like 6 days since I made the last episode. No, wait, more than that. I made the first one October 10th, the second one October 21st. Okay. I guess people were getting a little bit restless because it was over a week since I made the first episode. People were getting pretty pissed off, so I just made this one with the little time I had, and people were just bashing the shit out of it. So, if you ask me, episode 2, I know it could have been done better, but you guys also need to understand that back then, I was basically a kid when I made this, alright? Even though it's just only 3 years ago. I really didn't have any kind of editing skills or plot making skills, nothing. But, we definitely picked it up in episode 3, because I'm gonna be honest, Manny loved filming episode 3. I don't know why. Maybe because he just loved us killing zombies the entire time, even though they were people, or just pretending they're people. And a lot of people are just like, okay, that's fine. Yeah, they run away, which is kind of odd or hard to believe, but other than that, it works pretty well. But I really started to develop a story in this because from the last episode, me and Manny saw, our old friend Trevor dead in his apartment. I really wanted to put more like a story in it. In episode 3, I really started to put that around where Trevor's dad, didn't he work at a medicine factory and shit like that? So we tried to figure out where the hell that factory was in this episode. So this really started to become more like not just struggle for survival, but more like what's the right word?
Discovering the truth.
Yeah, basically. So because there really wasn't any easy way out of this, because Josh and Manny are pretty much stuck here in New York City. So they figured, well, we might as well need to figure out, what the hell happened here. So I really wanted to put more of a story into that. And since really the only other character we had so far is Trevor, I decided to put him into play. And then with Trevor, I could just put family members in and make more of a story that way. Um, and ultimately, during this period, I was thinking of the name for the infection. Um, which was a really badass name if you ask me. Procassium. Not like from Avatar. Unobtainium. Really, James Cameron? Really? Unobtainium? That's the best Anyway. Procassium, if you ask me, is a badass word. Because it just sounds like it's a real element, doesn't it? Like procassium? It sounds like it's an actual element, if you ask me, but...
When you came up with it, I remember thinking in my head, is that real? Did he actually research that online?
Yeah. But no, if you type procassium in Microsoft Word, it's gonna have a red line under it. It's not a real word. I just made it up. Um, Now, how I came up with the word procassium was pretty interesting, actually. See, since this infection is so large, so massive, it's such a large epidemic, I wanted to make it seem like the name of this needs to be like, it needs to make it seem like it's really emphasized of the word to express how the infection is. So the word pro, kind of means a lot. Cassium, it's kind of a mix of a lot of other elements from the atomic table of the elements. So I just kind of mixed some of those words together and got cassium. So I just put procassium, and I was like, that's badass. I'll just use that. So. But yeah, as these first handful of episodes, I'll say up to episode 5, there's quite a bit of mistakes that go on during this that people just bash the hell out of me for. But I was like, I'm sorry, I don't have anything to edit with or any kind of skills or anything. But what really wasn't that big of a deal to me, because most people did say they were enjoying it. They just love me Manny fucking around, killing random people, and they liked the idea of me having a continued story. So episode 4, we started to, developed on the fact of the factory going on, and definitely one of my most favorite parts of the whole series, where I just shoot those zombies standing next to the warehouse, and he's like, "Damn!" And those people just go flying away. I tried so hard not to just start laughing in that part, but you know, I thought the intro we did was pretty badass, where Josh is just standing out looking at the beach. He does that in series 3. That's kind of like a reference to it. So
I noticed when you did episode 4, it was almost like you'd realise that this show could be almost cinematic, and that's why you had an intro like that.
yeah, I really, even though I didn't have any editing skills, I figured I gotta try to make this feel more like a series. Make it have, a cinematography view of it. But that was still really hard to do, since most of episode 4 is just driving to the damn factory because it was so far away, and I crashed probably like 50 times along the way there on each side of the road. But once we get to the factory, it starts saying how the infection started and shit like that. Um, and I just really thought it was badass the way me and Manny escaped from the factory. But what pissed me off was the fact that after me and Manny escaped from the factory, there were like no people around at all, and I put pedestrians on high. There was absolutely no one around. I got really pissed off, so I just started going around shooting up cars. I was really pissed. So
to get this out there while I have the chance, but during the beginning of episode 4, when Josh puts his gun inside the house and is shooting quote-unquote zombies as they come out the warehouse, you're saying, how did the zombies find us? Manny turns to you, his player model actually turns to you in the game and goes, I don't know.
Yeah, I really like that. How they just, sometimes when your character looks back, sometimes, like, what was that behind them? But he actually said that at the perfect time. That happens so many times throughout all the series, and it's so awesome when it happens. I'm like, that's badass. He, like, especially during the trailer of Series 3, when, Carter's like, looks like I'm gonna need a bigger gun. He's like examining his gun. I'm like, that is badass. So, a lot of this stuff is just lucky when it happens. It's not really like, did you plan that? Did you make that happen? It's just luck, really. Um. So basically, people were like, they're saying, yeah, it's got some mistakes here and there, but I'm starting to like it. You got a story going on. And you're killing lots of things. I like that. So people wanted a bit more action because episode 4 there was just way too much driving around it. So I figured since the infection started in Liberty City, I mean, literally on Liberty Island. And in case you guys don't know, this actually takes place in New York. The game calls it Liberty City, but I call it New York. I just wanted to make this seem more relatable to a real city, because this does look exactly like New York. So I just wanted to make it seem like it was more real, because a lot of movies nowadays do take place in actual cities. So I figured that'd be a better idea than just calling it Liberty City the whole time. So around episode 5, a lot of it was just going around killing zombies on Liberty Island. I know Colin really likes the part where I'm threatening that zombie inside the Statue of Liberty. I'm like, where's the main cure? And I'm like pointing my gun at the civilian. But it was...
That scene was, the lines were badass, but I'm afraid that both me and my friends who watched that did blurt out laughing when you shot the paired and they kind of flailed out.
Yeah, they teleported through the chair and they did like a headstand. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, okay, I need to keep my cool on here, so I was like, damn it! So, to be honest, I think that the ending of episode 5 is really badass, where Josh just says, there is no cure, and then just cuts out.
There is no cure.
But what's really sucks, though, is that after this, when I uploaded episode 5, months passed, people were getting pissed off. Why aren't you making episode 6? Basically, school was going on, and I started getting involved in a lot of activities. Like, I was actually in a band. Manny was part of, like, a bunch of sport teams, I believe, so we couldn't really ever film anything. People were getting really pissed at me, so I figured, since they had to wait for so long, I need to kind of reward them for waiting. So in episode 6, I put more editing into it a little bit. I had some software that my friend, or actually not my friend, a random person on YouTube, I can't remember who it was, but he doesn't have a YouTube account anymore for some reason. He sent me a link to this software, and he was showing me how it works. So I'm like, okay. So as soon as episode 6 starts, you're like, whoa, wait a second. Why are we seeing titles here? This is going to be awesome. And then it shows a clip of me maybe flying in the helicopter, and then all of a sudden just says, GTA 4 Zombie Attack Series Episode 6, and then we start fighting zombies. People are like, that is so freaking cool.
I have to admit that I'm sure a lot of people who read the description of that video were kind of surprised that it took place almost 6 months after episode 5.
Yeah, I basically let that idea open to fans of what happened, because since they waited for so long, I figured, let's make that more realistic. Since they waited a lot long, let's actually make it actually 6 months later. And I put this annotation in almost every single video where it says what kind of zombies they are, because there are several types, but I never got around to saying what kind they were in the entire series. So I just started putting annotations up of what they were. Pedestrians, I first called them pre-infected, but we actually started calling them apprentice zombies. They're basically they look like a lot of zombies that you see in most zombie flicks nowadays, where they're basically people. They have blood all over them, and they have like mutated faces or something, but they do look a lot like people. But these um these types of zombies are so weak they run away when you shoot at them. That's the idea I came up with around this episode, and people are like, "Oh, okay, that works pretty well." So, um, I don't know why, but back then, I guess I wasn't really knowing how the world worked that well, or I don't know, because the part where um we're trying to figure out how to get that battery powered up, we hook up a car battery to it. People are like, "How the fuck does that happen?" And I'm like, "Well, car batteries have a crap ton of a voltage in them. So all I really did was just, I wish I could have, put that in the episode somewhere, but basically, you can do this in real life. If you plug a car battery on, you get these electrical wires. If you plug that onto a car battery and you plug it onto another device that has the prongs on it that you can plug onto as well, you can power it up if the car's on. It works. A lot of people didn't know that, and they were just bashing the hell out of me. That doesn't work. So whatever. Oh, the part in episode 6 everyone loves when I shoot the ambulance. um, that was not planned. That all just kind of happened. So that's what's really cool is that a lot of this badass stuff just kind of happens. It's not really something we plan out. It's just luck, really. So I'm like, "Man, get back, get back!" And then I shoot it, and then it kind of runs into me. And for the rest of the episode, I'm complaining how my back hurts. So, and episode 6 kind of ends with a cliffhanger. The USAF, they can help us get out of here. But before we move on to episode 7, there's one more part in episode 6 I want to talk about. One I know Colin loves is where that one pedestrian in that pickup truck, I don't know if they're alive or not, but when I shoot the driver, they started driving towards Manny. He's like, I got it. And then the pedestrian like runs into him because they're dead. He's like, oh fuck, I don't got it.
Sometimes in GTA, when you shoot a pedestrian in a car, it's like in real life, if their dead body slumped into the accelerator, they would just floor it.
Yeah.
That's what Manny didn't consideration when he was standing right in front of the pickup truck.
He was like, oh shit, I don't got it. So that was really funny, and because I could edit that out, but I just kept it in because I thought it was fucking funny as hell. It kind of showed how Manny was the comedian of the duo we had here. But the problem with having a duo is that, you're lacking more characters. It's not necessarily a bad thing if done right, but a lot of people wanted another character. So, basically, this guy messes Manny. He says, hey, I'd like to be in the series, and Manny had a chat with them. And he wasn't just some 3-year-old saying, I want to be in your series because I can be the best person ever! So, like, I had a chat with this guy, and yeah, I had a chat with this guy, and his knowledge of the series was really, really good. So I was like, wow, let's put him in. So episode 7 came around, and I basically used Justin as a way to would set up a new personality. I basically made him like kind of have some kind of a rivalry with Manny. I thought it would be pretty funny if him and Manny would always fight. So I kind of made it Justin seem like an alcoholic. Not that much because he says like, let me grab a Coors Light. Yeah, anybody can drink a Coors Light. A freaking 10-year-old can drink a Coors Light easily. So there wasn't really much of the idea he was expressed as an alcoholic. That's kind of why I made it seem a lot more, made him seem a lot more of an alcoholic in series 2 and 3. So I kind of developed on all of the characters' personality a lot more in the other series. So, people really liked episode 7 with us having a new character in it, still having another story, and I said, I really want to have like something crazy happen, like a really big cliffhanger. Like, I want the fans to think that shit's going down, might die. So, episode 8, most of the episode we actually didn't really fight any zombies. We're just kind of talking to each other and saying funny shit to each other. And that was kind of the build up to the end of the episode, where the ending fight of the episode. And this is also where Trevor's brother Kurt was introduced. Because before I made episode 8, I was looking at the past series trying to think of a way to progress the story even more, but make it make sense to connect the story. And I was looking at episode 2, and I'm like, there's 2 guys there. And I said, wow, that's Trevor and his brother! So, that was pure luck that there's 2 people there. And we basically put Trevor's brother Kurt in this episode. And we talked about him, but we basically made it seem as if he was dead. So, after searching Kurt's father's office, they figure out where Kurt lives in a shitty apartment. They say funny shit, how bad it stinks, and Justin asks Manny if he's gay. One of my most favorite parts ever. And then you got the epic, what?
Was that planned, him asking him if he was gay?
No, he was just kind of like, hey Josh, I have an idea, and I'm like, what? He's like, just wait. So I'm like, okay. So I was just like, action. And then he's like, Manny, I have to ask you a question. What? Are you gay? So, the ending fight happens. We all see Manny kind of get swarmed by zombies. We're like, shit! Justin falls out of the helicopter, and then I crash the helicopter. For episode 9, I kind of wanted something a little bit different. I wanted to make it seem more like a horror episode, kind of, where it's not just action-packed, but because of the fact that Josh hates the idea of having to kill his own friends because he knows it's Manny, that's kind of why, I don't know why, a lot of people are just like, why didn't Josh just kill Manny? I understand that a lot of people are just like, oh, he's a zombie now, you have to kill him. But what people don't get is Josh's character. He cares way too much about his friends, so he's not just gonna like kill them because they're a zombie now. He's gonna be running away from them, trying to figure out how to cure them. Stuff like that. But definitely a really epic part that I like personally is the beginning of episode 9, where as the title screens are going on, you hear the helicopter sirens to show the aftermath of the crash, and then Josh is like, Manny and Justin gone, and then it shows the title. During this episode, I actually had a cold, but that's actually a good thing because it made me sound like that I was injured really bad. So I was like, Manny and Justin gone. But I actually had a cold during this episode, which is pretty hilarious. But towards the end of the episode, one of the most difficult things to film was where I needed to figure out to put the cure into Manny. This is something that I've always regretted doing, but I just said, okay, I'll spread the infection on the knife. I know that's a bit silly, but I really had no other way of doing it. So, putting that aside, Manny punches me twice because he's so freaking strong. And I'm like, Manny, no, don't kill me, please. This is also really difficult to film because we had to put Justin in the perfect spot behind Manny to be able to shoot him. But, you still see Justin's little color circle pop up, but for some reason, a lot of people didn't notice that because all of this just happened so quick. It's just like, boom, boom, boom. No one really noticed or said anything about it, which is good.
Zombie Manny during that episode when he was revealed, I think many people will agree that that was probably one of the most hectic chase sequences in the entire Series 1. It was very hectic, very desperate. It was like just completely, it showed off a lot of Josh's character in the sense that he was holding back as he possibly could, even so much so that he was about to be killed and he still wouldn't shoot Manny.
Yeah, it was basically one of the most thrilling chases because I wanted the people to really realize that Josh is not going to kill this guy. He just can't do it. But Manny, his mind's gone. He's infected. Manny is going to kill Josh. In fact, whoever started this infection, which I'm sure a lot of you already know by now, but for those of you that don't, I'm not going to spoil it. Um, but whoever started this infection told Zombie Manny, go after Josh, no one else, just him. Don't stop till he's dead. So Manny is going to do whatever he can to kill Josh, while Josh is trying to do the exact opposite. As I was showing my friend this episode, when he was watching the chase sequences, he's like, look out, run, 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 ah! He was like freaking out. And I was like, I guess I did a good job with it. So, I also wanted to show a bit more of the backstory into it. That's why you see a flashback sequence in episode 9 in Battle to Gay Tony. I really wanted to show that the flashback took place in a whole different time. So I did it in Battle to Gay Tony to make them all seem younger. Even though for some reason in Battle to Gay Tony, the multiplayer characters are taller. I don't know if you noticed that. They're a few pixels taller, which is kind of silly. But whatever. Pretty much no one can even notice that anyway, so this really doesn't matter. But, episode 9 also ends with that cliffhanger. They're going to nuke the city. I wanted to show that, episode 10 is probably going to be the last one. So that's why most of episode 10 is just, Josh, Justin, and Manny are all fighting zombies. I know Colin loves the part where this wasn't planned either. I just started going, "Ugh!" And Manny's like, "What?" And then me and Justin go, "You farted!" Episode 10 was actually, the first episode that was about 90% scripted. So, and I thought it was done really, really well. And that's kind of why that episode 10 really feels like something that, I would probably be filming, I wouldn't say now because I could do, not bashing on it, but just saying I could do a lot better. Not saying episode 10 is bad. I'm just saying I could do a lot better, but I just really like, how we set it up this time, and I put the most hard work into it since it was the last episode.
You used the Doom remix for the fight scene.
Oh yeah, I mean, I really wanted to make it seem like that this was the most difficult fight because right before they walk into the airport, they're all walking in slow motion, and right before that, where this wasn't planned either. This was not planned. This is just something May started saying. So he was like, Manny was like, yeah, I've always hated airports. And I'm like, that wasn't in the script, so I'll just go like, why? And Justin goes, why? And Manny says, because when I go on airplanes, they always give me diarrhea.
I love the cuts out just at the end to let diarrhea.
Yeah, I was still struggling with the editing of it. Sometimes my camera will be an asshole and not film the entire thing that I was filming. So sometimes when I would edit, it would cut out shit, which would piss me off. That's why in the fighting sequences, you really don't notice it that much. So, that's why I figured it was done pretty well. And then...
As always, there's always some asshole who says, oh, why are the planes moving around if this is a zombie apocalypse? Well, the simple answer to that, my friend, is when you learn how to hack games and remove the planes, well, please let us know, because it's not that easy.
No, it's really not. It's part of the damn game. There's nothing I can do about it. You always get... shit like, yeah, there's planes in the background, there's helicopters flying around, so we finally got rid of the people and started using actual zombies, and people are still bashing on it, which is, ridiculous, but, there's always going to be people out there that won't like it. 90% feedback I got was positive about this series, and, the ending of it. I've always wanted to put this song in that I found. It's called The Antidote by Story of the Year. All we need is a reason. I put that in every single credits in all 3 series. And Mainly because of the lyrics, you know.
Yeah.
Was talking about disinfection has begun or whatever. I don't remember the lyrics that well, but it does talk about an infection at some point, so I really like that. And then you got the credits and then the newspaper and everything, and then the end with a smiley face. But I've always wanted to put this in, so at the annotation I was just like, or not. Ooh.
But you weren't planning on doing Series 2 because you didn't think
We
how
will get into that in the second video because we have been recording this for a fuckload of time. So join us next time for the developing of Series 2, and you guys will really want to hear the origins of this one. I promise you that much. So thank you guys for watching this one. Hope you gave an idea of how I created this. Do you have any final words for this series? Series 1, Colin.
I think it was a fantastic start to a fantastic series.
Thank you. I'm glad you like it, sir. Now go suck a wiener. Wait, what? Anyway, see you guys in Series 2. Bye-bye.